Welcome to the Temple of Yesod. Imagine that there is a red square at the base of your body. You have your feet on the ground and you're aware of the breath. And with each exhalation, the red square at the base expands and becomes larger. Expanding until there is a universally shared red square among the entire group that is present at this moment. Establish your axis mundi. On the exhalation, go down into the center of the ground and connect into the core of the planet. And on the inhalation, feel the grounding, earthing energy returning back to you, back to the core of your body. And then exhale up to the soul star, the holy guardian angel, at the level of the moon. And on the inhalation, draw that energy down into your core. And note the connection that goes all the way down to the center of the planet and all the way up to the soul star, while you sit in the middle of that column of light with your feet on the ground and awareness of your breath. And now place around that base of red square, around yourself and around the egregore, a misty, silvery, violet light. And hold that image while remaining aware of the body. We'll set a blue wall going clockwise, revolving around that sphere. Another blue wall going counterclockwise, simultaneously revolving around that sphere. If you can breathe from the belly, begin to do belly breaths in a 4-4 pattern and hold as many pieces of this imagery as you can while we set up a resonant field in the mind stream. From the space of the silver bubble, we see before us the four-armed cross, the symbol of Malkuth, adorned with the colors of citrine, russet, olive, and black. Moving, visualizing, feeling, or just knowing, with your astral body, make the sign of the Enterer, leave your silver sphere, and step through this image into the temple of Malkuth. There we find the familiar 10-sided crystal walls and ceiling of crystal, the floor of black and white tiles with a central altar cloaked in black. On top of that is a bright, burning flame. Look into this flame and consider the affirmation of Malkuth. I am made in the image of the divine. Recall the last time that we walked the sacred pathway of the Tree of Life and set an intention that we are now completing an old way of living. Evoke within yourself an attitude of curiosity for the mysteries that lie ahead. Look up, search, and find the next door. It is the universe card associated with a 32nd path. Know that we've completed our journey down the tree and we shall ascend it. We've stated our intention for a new mystical life and viewpoint, a new reality that is in conformity with our will and intention, a reality that we form consciously. As we receive and filter the higher emanations of the upper Sephiroth, we commit ourselves to the journey of ascension and union with our highest self, our holy guardian angel. We call to us a pantheon of assistive angels who can help us navigate our way to our fullest potential with the most ease. This is your personal pantheon. Make the sign of the Enterer and step forward into the tunnel of the indigo path of the 32nd path of Tau. Go through the universe card. Just notice what images come to you as you spend a second or two orienting to that space as different than the previous space. Look up and find the next door. It will be marked with an Ankh. Making the sign of the Enterer again, step through the Ankh and into the sphere of Yesod. Take a look around. Note the details that come to you. Note the areas that are hard for you to envision, as well as the details that come easily. Out of the swirling violet haze, the temple begins to take shape.
9 walls form the temple's inner chamber, which is colored a rich violet. The figure of an angle, or 9-sided polygon, graces the floor. In each of the 9 corners of the room, a brazier of incense hangs, scenting the room with the smell of jasmine. The ceiling is engraved with the various faces of the moon, inlaid with quartz and ebony. The central altar is cast in silver and covered with a velvet indigo cloth. On the altar, the temple flame burns brightly in a silver bowl supported by 3 crescents. The feel of this temple is quite different from that of Malkuth. No sensations of security or solidity are evoked here. There is an ethereal quality to everything. You almost feel as if your hand would pass right through the altar if you tried to touch it. There's also a sense of excitement, akin to sexual awareness, which causes the hairs on your arms to stand up. This temple is the dwelling place of the serpent power, or Kundalini. You can feel its power tingling in certain nerves along your spine, stirred slightly by your entrance into Yesod.
Notice the candle on the altar and gaze at it while repeating the affirmation of Yesod. I have the power to actively create my world. And we'll recite the God name of this sphere. We invite you to join us.
Shaddai Elhai. 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 Out of the incense smoke of the temple, a strange being steps forth. It has the head of a woman, the body of a lion, and the wings of an eagle. She says to you in a powerful voice that seems to fill the universe, "Welcome. I am an angel of the choir of the cherubim. We are greatly honored that you have made this journey, and we welcome you to the temple of Yesod. Let me instruct you on the attributes of the temple of Yesod. Yesod is the 9th sephirah and the sphere of the foundation. By foundation, we mean the astral foundation or matrix on which all manifested forms in the physical universe are based and built upon. It is the sphere of the astral plane and the level at which we build up images in the imagination. Yesod touches on the images and operations of the unconscious mind, those subconscious bodily functions that we are unaware of. The ninth sphere is also the realm of procreation, biology, intuition, rhythms, tides, and fluctuations. The moon, the ruler of the instinctive mind, is attributed here. According to the Sephir Yetzirah, the ninth path is the pure intelligence, so called because it purifies the numerations. It proves and corrects the designing of the representation and disposes their unity with which they are combined without dimmutation or division. The text states clearly that it's Yesod's duty to purify and correct the emanations. Although the divine emanations that flow down the tree are intrinsically pure, they may need to be proven or corrected in order to fit them into a vehicle of dense matter. Yesod also disposes or orders the unity of these emanations, so that only the most worthy manifested vehicles are designed for the reception of the divine energy, which is brought into the physical universe without becoming diminished or in any way in its essential purity. The spiritual experience of Yesod is the vision of the machinery of the universe. What this implies is that Yesod is the sphere of the astral light, also known as Akasha. This is the etheric substance which underlies all dense matter. It is the astral matrix on which the physical universe is built. Yesod is the receptacle of the influences from all the preceding Sephirah, which are then combined into a type of blueprint made from the astral light. This blueprint is the foundation or etheric double on which the earthly plane is constructed. All events, whether natural or human-made, occur in the aethers of Yesod before they occur in the physical world. The ninth Sephirah is the last step that activates the final manifestation of form. In the same manner that all the planets were born out of the mind of God, all human-made inventions first appear as ideas in the Yesodic part of the inventor's mind. Yesod is the lower seat of intuition in humankind. In addition, all magical operations take place in the sphere of Yesod, because the magician seeks to effect changes in the physical world by manipulating the subtle currents of the astral. As you continue on your journey, consider my riddle. What within you helps you, and what within you blocks you?
Notice that there is a pool, and as you gaze into it, you can see in its depth a gleam of silver and a flash of pearly light as vague shapes drift below the surface. The Sphinx crosses the bridge and stands beside us, its great strength encompassing us, almost tangible in its effect. Very gently, the being lifts each one of us in turn and lays us on the surface of the pool. For a moment we float, looking up at the silver stars painted on the ceiling of the temple, And then our bodies begin to settle into the water and we sink into the purple depths. The silver stars and the brilliant eyes of the Sphinx with her arms crossed over her chest in the sign of Osiris slain are the last things we see as the water closes over us. For a while we sink down steadily and then stop, drifting as if with a current. We can breathe quite easily, and like divers, we twist and turn as we wish. The element has become as natural to us as that of air. As we move about testing our newfound abilities, there come from the darkness strange shapes and figures. At first we don't recognize them, and then gradually we see that they are people we've known in the past when we were young. They drift past, smiling, sometimes waving, but making no attempt to stop or to speak. More appear from farther back in our lives. And then we are seeing those we knew early in childhood. Favorite toys and pets that have meant a great deal to us. All of this is part of the dream that form the building bricks of the life that we're now leading. We may see someone we have cause to dislike or even hate, and now is a moment of opportunity to discover and understand the root of that emotion, and perhaps to come to some reconciliation with it. The water, the images, our bodies all seem to become part of a great whole, a fluidic substance that permeates our small universe of being. Memories stir deep inside of us of all the lost and half-forgotten ideas, hopes, and dreams. The pains, the discords, the faults that we've hidden even from ourselves come before us in recognizable forms. Let's study these symbols and shapes to see if we can learn from them. Knowledge is what we are here to seek. It grows darker, and we're caught in a surging tide that seems to toss us from side to side, and we can see the opening of another tunnel. The rushing waters of the moon carry us into the darkness. Within it is warm and comforting. There is no fear. We just drift on the deep bosom of the Sea Mother. For long ages, a no time of eternity. We drift and dream until we become aware that we are no longer floating on an ocean sea, but we are on an ocean of stars. Myriads upon myriads, far more than we can see from our own small planet. We sail among and through them as we wish. Some are old and about to go nova, and some are just forming. We watch suns born and planets form above them. They grow old and die in a blaze of fire. All of them have a beginning in the end, but the ending is only a change from one form to another. The matter of dead suns and their planets are caught up and transmuted into new suns. And we are part of all of this. That which forms the body of stars, planets, solar systems, far beyond our own, is the same material and structure as the bodies we use on Earth. This is the primal pattern. laid down by the lords of flame and form, long before the need for form arose. We are watching the machinery of the universe, following its ordained course of action, and we wonder at its perfection. It is a perfection of which we are part of. The angelic forms of Yesod are sometimes called the builders. They're concerned with the conception and structure of every kind of body, from that of a sun to the smallest kind of virus. All have a basic pattern, a tiny solar system with a nucleus of pure energy as its heart and driving force. Continue a few moments in this space and take note of the images that come up.
We feel a tugging at our astral bodies, a pull that cannot be ignored. For the first time, we notice a thin, silvery cord trailing from the navel, a thin, almost transparent thread of light that pulses with a regular beat. We are being born again from this Mother Ocean, whose blood is the star seed of life. The cord tightens, and we are pulled down through the astral tide towards a glowing sphere of light with a dark center. But just before we leave the star sea, we reach out and pluck one small piece of star matter and place it on our forehead between the eyes. We fall faster now towards the dark center of the sphere below. The darkness rushes up to engulf us, and we find ourselves floating in a warm liquid through which a faint light gleams. We move towards it, and our heads emerge from the pool in the temple of Yesod. The waiting Sphinx reaches down and lifts each one of us from the water, setting us down gently on our feet. Then she touches the star on our forehead, and it sinks into the flesh to remain hidden, though active on the inner levels from now on. She walks with us to the doors of the temple, and there, on the floor, just before the entrance, are some silver sandals, a pair for each of us. The sandals of Yesod that enable the wearer to walk the two worlds in safety. They are for us to wear when we enter the astral realms and beyond. We step into them proudly, as well we may, for we have earned the right to wear them. We thank the Sphinx, who smiles sweetly, waiting until we all enter the mist beyond the doors before returning to her appointed place. We walk down towards Malkuth, feeling our body weight gather about us as we near the lower level. The doors ahead are flung open in welcome, and Sandalphon's outstretched hands draw us through and into the temple. The door sealed, we gather before the altar to ask a blessing upon all the beings who serve us with such love, and with shy pride show our sandals to the archangel. The temple fades, but the laughing eyes of Sandalphon remain with us until the last moment as our own world forms about us.